Yes. We are 2 minutes late. That's my fault. I had some. But don't fret. We're back. And we're gonna. Christopher's here, and we're gonna continue our discussion from last week. Horror movies. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I just you looked so like you'd zoned out. Anyway. Yes. Last week we focused mostly on older horror movies, the golden era, the 70s. Did we talk? Yeah, we talked a bit about the 80s, I suppose. But we never really got to talk about modern horror movies. Let's say the I don't know, the 90s and up until today. We talked a little bit about jump scares, but we didn't really talk specific movies.
No, I think it was more about the concept of a horror movie, and then we took the golden standard, which is the old ones.
Yes, exactly. Because at least all of my examples of really good horror movies were from the 70s, and The Shining is from 1980. But yeah,
and also most of the standard, the ideas comes from those movies, like inventing the genres and such and such.
Exactly. But there are actually some good horror movies from today, I would argue.
So we're setting the deadline. Well, not the deadline, the starting point at the 90s, the beginning of the 90s.
Yeah, I would say the 90s, because the 80s, like off the top of my head, there are a few good ones from the 80s, but the 80s were very focused on slasher movies, and while those are fun, they're not really the movies. Some, I suppose, but I mean, we watched last month. We watched a lot of slashers on Friday the 13th, and as much fun as we thought it would be, it really wasn't.
Not in a row, not when you've already seen them. I think that's the big thing. I think slashers are great if you either see them like far between each other, or if you've never seen them before. Like, you choose one or the other.
Yeah, because we were supposed to watch all Friday the 13th, but I mean, when we I guess it was only you, me, and one other guy left, and I was ready to give up. So, but yeah, so I think we're gonna focus on the 90s and forward up until now. So, just like off the top of your head, do you have any like current or not current? What was I saying?
Modern?
Any horror movie from around now that you like really like?
Well, yeah, I've got two movies which I've told you a lot of times you should see, but you never see them. First is Autopsy of Jane Doe, obviously.
I actually watched that.
Oh, you did? What do you think?
Yes, I watched it after last time when you told me. Well, I really liked the premise point, and then I thought it kind of, and then it kind of spiraled a little bit out of control.
No, really.
And I know, I don't know how much I want to spoil. But
I would say for me, I maybe it fell a little right at the end when the explanations came, and when they started to explain the premise, then it lost something. But right up until that point, I thought it was almost flawless. I can't really say anything that was bad about it up until that point.
The initial. Did my camera stop? No, there I am. Okay. The initial premise, the autopsy of Jane Doe is that was really interesting. And yeah, some more. I don't want to say too much, but some more stuff happens. Or should we just talk about it? Because it's a good example of a modern horror movie that kind of ties into something else. Okay, let's just say spoilers for anyone that haven't seen it. If you care about spoilers, tune out. If you don't care about spoilers, stay with us.
Yeah.
So, I really liked it up until the zombie appeared, or the living dead. I suppose it's not really a zombie, and then it was just like that's where it went too far for me. I would have really liked it if the entire movie was centered on the actual autopsy. I mean, I don't know exactly how you would do that, but keep the revelations they were having while they were autopsying her.
Yeah.
How do you say that? Yeah, autopsying. I don't know.
I don't think you can use it like that during the autopsy.
No. Yeah, during the autopsy, like each thing they found would like lead to another revelation. That was, if that could have gone on for the entire movie, I think it would have been more interesting.
Okay. Yeah, because I thought the zombie things. I'm with you that it was a little much, but I think they really got it together after that, because then you started to think, wait, was this just a hallucination? Was there really people walking around or not? Because they're playing a lot with them being there, not being there, and then jumping around and like teleporting almost. So I was thinking, after that reveal, so to speak, I was on board again, because I was okay, so it's just hallucination. It's just things like that. It didn't happen.
Yeah, and I think like I usually talk about. I don't know too much about the monster or anything. We talked about this, but in this movie, I think I actually wanted a better explanation of what was actually going on. It feels like I didn't have. For me, there was like a lack of like a consistent set of rules for the monster, what you would call it, because sometimes there's like sometimes there was a zombie there, sometimes it could manipulate things around it, and sometimes it couldn't. Sometimes it could make you think it's a zombie, but it's actually your girlfriend. I wasn't really sure what the rules were, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
I got kind of confused.
Yeah, I get that, but it didn't bother me. I thought that was almost like it added something that you didn't know. What's going to happen now? What's going to happen? How is she going to do it? What happened? And it's slowly revealing her powers. And even at the end, when the credits roll, you're not sure if was that all her powers, or did she have more powers? And I thought that gave an interesting dynamic for me, at least. So the explanation was a little so, but other than that, I liked it.
Yeah, I did actually, despite my confusion, like towards the middle, I did really like it, and I really like Brian Cox. He is great, and he appears in these little movies all the time. It's really cool.
And I actually read about the movie. He was a last minute addition. They didn't really want him as the actor. No, there was some other actor, I don't remember, that they really wanted, and that actor, like, they waited to the last minute to hope that he would be on board, but then he didn't. And then they called, Brian Cox is always on board.
Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like, because he does.
And I can see that movie with someone else, because he was so good at it, I think.
Yeah, he really he cements his presence pretty fast.
Yeah.
So he's like, yep, this is Brian Cox movie. And I like the ending. I like the ending, how it kind of tied it together with the beginning of the movie. So I really like that. It was just a little bit in the middle, but other than that, I was quite impressed.
Yeah. So it was a good tip.
Yes, it was a pretty good example of a of a modern horror movie that isn't as formulaic as most horror movies are today. And there weren't really that many jump scares. It was actually, legit creepy for the most part.
I actually looked it up. There are 2 or 3 jump scares in the entire movie, and I would say 2 of them doesn't count, because I think one of them is like something falls off a shelf.
Yeah, I think I know which one.
And the only one that I would count as a real jump scare, that was the cat, I would say.
Oh yeah, and that
was
came
a bad
quite early in the movie. Yeah, and it was like, oh, it's gonna be that.
Yeah,
but it wasn't. So that was
it felt almost like there's like, the studio, or we need jump scares. You get one.
Oh my god! But that is actually that's a good example of a modern horror movie that tried to defy the formula.
And also, I would really say it's debatable if it's actually a horror movie, but I would put it up. I don't really know what you think about it. I think you like it, but I'm not sure. Scream, I would put up there like one of a really good modern horror movie, because also it doing a satire and reinventing the genre at the same time.
I guess it technically falls into the horror genre because it's a slasher, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was never scared watching that. Not when I was a kid, and not now. But yeah, it is technically a horror movie, and I do like it a lot. And partly because it revived the slasher genre.
Yeah, and I would almost say I would almost say that not just because of that movie, but that point in time that movie came, that was like a turning point in the horror movie genre. Up until that point, horror movies was just bad slashers. It was like in the mainstream, at least. And then Scream came and reinvented the genre and became a good genre again. So I would say it's
exactly.
like a next era of horror movies came with that movie.
Oh yeah, definitely. I guess you could also argue, but I think you can do that with every genre defining or watershed movie. Where Scream really showed us that you can actually make good slasher movies now. It kind of the movies. A lot of the movies that did follow were kind of terrible as well. So that's always a dangerous thing about being this revolutionary new kind of movie, or because after Scream you had Scream 2, which I like. And you had Scream 3, which I'm not really a fan of.
No.
I Know What You Did Last Summer, which I do not like that one.
But I would say, they're all of those movies.
Scream, the Scream copycats.
Yeah, but I would say that's almost like that's going to happen. If you do a genre reinventing movie, there are going to be copycats that's not even close to as good. But it's like 5 years after the genre reinventing movie, when that came out, about 5 or 10 years after that, that's when they actually people learn from that movie and look back to that movie and say, oh, we can do something with this. But it's like that period of 5 to 10 years of shit. That's just copycat.
Exactly. They're just trying to copy it.
Yeah.
What's that movie with Denise Richards? Valentine's Day. That is just horrendous.
I don't even think I saw that one.
No, he has like a doll face mask on, and I don't know.
Oh no.
I know he drowns a girl in a hot tub or boils her in a hot tub. I'm not sure. Anyway.
No. So good modern horror movies.
Yes, very good, very good. No, but a horror movie which I don't that I really like, but I'm not sure what other people think of it. I don't know where it is. Chock full of jump scares, but that I actually like is The Woman in Black.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The first one.
You've seen it, yeah. Oh yeah. The second one is no.
I never saw the second. That was a good movie. Also, I really like modern horror movies that like takes aspect from the golden age, and I think Woman in Black really took a lot of inspiration from like the old horror movies of that time where there were like um the tales and myths
Yeah,
and that kind
yeah,
of
like it's really a classic kind of ghost story.
yeah, exactly.
Especially if you read the book, because that just plays out like I wouldn't say. It kind of reminds you of Edgar Allan Poe. It's not on that level, but it's the same kind of way of
Yeah.
telling a ghost story or a
Mhm.
horror story, even more than the movie. Yeah, that's an aspect I really like about it. That it tries to harken back to that old style of horror movies. And also that in that movie, even though there are a few like fake jump scares, it's the bird in the chimney and a couple
Yeah.
other ones. For the most part, the jump scares are actually things that scare Daniel Radcliffe in the movie. So it's not just us being scared; it's him as well.
Yeah.
So I think those are the good kind of jump scares.
Exactly, because as we talked last week, that bad jump scares are when we are scared but not the characters.
Yeah,
and all jump scares in that movie are he jumps, so we jump.
Yeah, but it's just that one with the bird when it's not actually something dangerous. It's just a bird that scares us. That's like the only one I don't like. But what I do really like about that movie though, is that it utilizes jump scares to actually make you scared. Because the first time I watched that movie, I wasn't just jumping that adrenaline rush. Towards the end, I was actually like terrified. I had to shut my eyes, and I do not do that very often when it comes to horror movies. That movie, I mean, I watched it in the theater with my sister, and I shut my eyes and I actually whimpered through the end, like, please stop, please stop, please stop. I couldn't handle it. It was too much. It was like sensory overload, and I liked that for some reason. So that's why I like that one. Plus, Daniel Radcliffe, I love it whenever he gets a chance to play something else than Harry Potter.
Oh yeah, but he's really doing great movies nowadays. Like the last few years. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you watch Swiss Army Man?
Oh yeah, I did. I don't know what I think about it. I have no idea.
It was a little weird, and I don't think it held up all the way. But I like the style of it.
Yeah.
And the performances were something different.
Yeah. I was looking through my collection of movies. I realized one movie. I don't know if you saw that, and it's also, I'm not sure if it's a horror movie, but I was scared. So, Compliance.
Oh no! Wait, it's that's the one with the fast food place where the police calls in.
Yeah.
Who's not? No spoilers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
It could be a thriller, maybe. I don't know.
I think it's a thriller. But it is very creepy, but not in a horror movie kind of way. It's just like it's like dirty almost. But yeah, that is a great movie.
Yeah. One of those movies that I put on my list that I would never see again. I loved it, but I will never see it again.
No, yeah, it's a little much towards the middle.
Yeah.
But it's a great movie.
Yep.
I haven't seen that since 2013 or 14 when it came out.
Yeah,
that's a really good one. But I wouldn't say it's not 2012 even. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's not a horror movie per se.
Yeah.
I would say.
More
of a thriller.
Another one that I really liked, but it's also I don't know, the horror movies, modern horror movies that I like are like those pure horror movies. They're like on the verge. Another one, Hills Have Eyes, the remake.
Yeah, I really like that one. I like it more than the original.
Yeah, me too. Totally. 100%.
Yeah, because you know, I saw that one when I was maybe 15 or something, and you know, it hasn't really aged well. It was probably a lot more scary back in the 70s, but to watch it for the first time now, it was like, nope.
It's a little like
So
watching
the remake,
an old Universal horror movie. Like,
yeah,
it's
you can appreciate it, but it's not scary.
no,
Not at all.
Not at all.
But yeah, that is also that's a good example of a modern horror movie, and it's one of the few of these like horror remakes that is actually good.
Yeah,
because it's not just like a cheap copy or a cheap knockoff of the original. It actually like elevates the original into something else. It makes it its own, and it is fucking scary.
It's scary, and I think, yeah, we're a little jaded now, but I rewatched it a few months ago. It's really like gruesome at parts. It's
that first attack when they come into the camper at night, and they put the gun to the baby's head, and that whole scene was really creepy and unnerving. It doesn't pull any punches. It just goes like full force. So it's really that's a really good horror movie, and a really good example of a remake, a horror remake.
What was that? Not good. Just talking about horror remakes. The one with the slasher movie with the gas mask. Which one was that? The killer has a minor and has a gas mask. I want to say Valentine's Day, but I don't think it's called that.
Yeah, it is. Isn't it Valentine's Day?
Is it?
I know it should be here. No, it's not called. It should be here. Valentine's Day. Anyway. Damn it.
There we got an example of a remake that really missed its mark. The original is still great. The original is still great.
That's the one I have. I've seen the remake, but the original is a lot better.
Yeah, the remake really just missed on all points. Also, it was like 3D. It was like super like in your face with the 3D all the time.
I never watched it in 3D.
No, me neither. But you can see the seats.
Okay.
This is supposed to be 3D.
Yeah.
Like.
I gotta find out what that movie was called though. This is really killing me. I know it's Canadian.
Oh, yeah.
It takes place on Valentine's Day.
I know, but is it called that?
Oh no. But yeah, the original really worked as almost like a tragic love story mixed in with a pretty gruesome slasher. What the remake failed to do was mix those two genres, because that just feels like a teen romance movie.
No.
Some
also they put in like this super stupid twist at the end that's not in the original.
Yeah, and that did not work. That was so dumb.
Yeah.
Because the sort of twist that you have in the original, that works. You're like, oh really?
Yeah.
But in this new one, it was like you were expecting a twist, and then the twist was a lot weaker than you were expecting. It's like, really? Nah.
Oh, well.
Nah, it was just terrible. There were like a few of the actors that I liked. I haven't seen it in a long time, but other than that, that was a terrible remake.
Yeah. So you got any more that you've been thinking about?
I can't even find the movie. Whatever. Damn it. Yes. Another one that kind of works because it's trying to harken back to the old style of making horror movies is The Conjuring.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I still only have seen the first one, but I really liked it.
Yeah, because it it works as a modern horror movie. It has all the jump scares and all that stuff. But it also, partly because it takes place in the 70s, it kind of has that that kind of 70s feel.
Yeah.
In the way they make the movie as well. So that one really works. And I had this feeling when that first came out, I really felt like, horror movies kind of have to like step up their game now after this one. I wouldn't say that it's like a future classic or anything, but it really showed that you can actually make well-made horror movies in the 2010s.
Yeah,
2010s. But that really didn't happen though. I mean, we got Conjuring 2, but that's about it.
the other one with the doll, it's the same universe.
Yeah, Annabelle.
Yeah.
That one's it's pretty terrible.
All right. As stated, I didn't see any of the sequels.
No. Yeah, Conjuring 2 is good. The original the first one is better, but the sequel is pretty good. I saw the first Annabelle movie because it was on Netflix like the week after it had premiered. But yeah, that was really bad. There was one good scene in the movie.
Okay.
That was actually directed by the guy that made The Conjuring. That's why it was good. So that was a bad one. And then of course the same guy, it's James Wan, the guy that made the first Saw movie. He also made the Insidious movies.
Okay.
Did you see any of those?
Yeah, I did see them. I'm just trying to sort out. Oh yeah, right. Now I know. I'm always confusing Insidious and Sinister. So I'm always confusing those two. Also because in Insidious it's the same actor as Conjuring, so it's everything.
Yeah. I think the Insidious movies kind of works in the same way that The Conjuring did. It kind of wanted to be more of a quality movie than, and it kind of works. Except that
I was not impressed by Insidious.
No,
I'm not regretting it that I watched it. It wasn't like it was horrible. I just wasn't impressed. I thought it was meh. It was fine. Nothing special.
I really like it up until the point where the father goes into the further.
Yeah.
They call it. That's where it kind of spirals out of control. But I really like it up until then.
I think it was up until then. It was like it went from like 0 to 60 real fast. Because it up until then, I thought it was like nothing's happening. Can we have something? And they say, okay, you can have everything. And it was like, no, not just the balance, man. So,
yeah.
First part is nothing. Last part is everything, and it's like, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit like that. But so you didn't see the sequel?
No.
Oh, okay, because it does some pretty neat things with like not time travel, but like memory and kind of like connecting the second movie to the first movie. It's pretty interesting. Not really in like a horror movie kind of way, more like because those movies almost turn into like adventures towards the end when they run around and fight demons and stuff. It gets kind of silly, but they really work well together as like two parts of a story. So
I found
maybe not the best example of a horror movie.
I found the name of the movie, My Bloody Valentine.
My Bloody Valentine. There we go. Thank God.
I also saw another movie which was really good. It's weird. It's a really good movie, but I always forget it exists. It Follows.
Yeah. Everyone said they loved that. I liked it, but I don't know. I was not that impressed.
Oh, okay.
It was. I mean, it was a very well made movie. What I found kind of immersion breaking was the fact that everybody, all the teenagers, they were so lax about the whole situation. I felt that they were a little too mumbly. Like, oh no, I'm being chased by this demon thing. Okay.
I just thought I was.
Then there were a few scenes where like, oh, where they were actually scared, but for the most part, they were so cool about it, and that didn't work for me.
I was impressed. Just the what do you say, the framing of the shots was like on point through the whole movie.
Yeah.
And also like this when you see things in the background that the characters don't see but we see, and it creates tension without having like a jump scare or something. It's a creeping horror that we sit and oh no 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 no. I think that was really great.
That definitely works.
On a technical standpoint, it was a great horror movie. Yeah, the characters were a little flat, and as you say, they were a little not engaged in the story as some of the times. True. But I think it weighed out. In the end, it came out on top, and I really like it, just mostly because of the technical stuff.
Yeah, definitely. It felt almost like a Carpenter movie, because there was at least long, like steady cam shots, and the music. It sounds like a Carpenter movie. Yeah, the way they frame shots where you more than the actual characters in the movie are constantly looking in the background. Where is it? Is that him? Is that it? Because like anyone walking towards the camera is like, oh no, that's it. You're gonna die. Like they turn around like, is that it? No, okay. Like, come on, do something.
Okay. Yeah, I get it, but I wasn't bothered by it as much as you are apparently.
Part of it is that I don't really buy into hypes a lot. I've been burnt by the hype before.
Yeah.
So when I heard a lot of good stuff about it, I was like, I don't believe you. So I went in with that kind of mindset. So that might have hurt.
Yeah, I was excited for the movie for like a year. When I saw, after they released the first trailer, I saw the trailer and said, yeah, I need to see this. I am so excited. So I was, it was that movie and Clown was I really excited for. But then I totally forgot about Clown and never saw it. But I was really excited for it.
Yeah, I've heard about that one, but I haven't seen it either.
Oh, yeah, both those trailers.
He's like into a clown, right? Almost like a werewolf movie or a zombie movie or something.
Sort of. It's like he rents a costume for his kid's birthday party, and then he can't take off the costume. It's like starts to grow into his skin, and he turns it to Pennywise. Like
exactly. And I remember the trailer. It almost feels like a parody at first. Like the nose is stuck. I can't get the nose off. You're like, what? Really? But then, and then at least the trailer, it actually gets kind of scary.
Because those It Follows and Clown, those trailers was released like I think the same week or something, and I saw both those trailers and I was like, this summer or winter, whenever, is saved. This is gonna be great horror movie year. And then I only saw one and was really excited.
I've heard some mixed things about Clown, so maybe it's for the better.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. But a really recent horror movie, it's a horror movie. The Witch. Did you see that?
No, I haven't seen it yet. It's on the list. It's just.
Oh yeah. It definitely is on the list.
Honestly, I'm a little scared of watching it. I'm like, because people are telling so many good things about it, and that they're so horrible. And then I watched the trailer, and the trailer looks so horrible, and I'm just putting it off like forever. It looks so
I can say this.
Scary.
Yeah, I know, and they really sell that with the trailer, like the most disturbing movie of the year and all that stuff. It is unnerving, but it is not the scariest movie I've ever seen. It is. Also, you know what it is?
Yeah.
it's a little bit of a psychological.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that, and I'm also scared that it's on the psychological horror, and I'm gonna be horribly disappointed. So I just if I don't watch it, it's safe from being ruined.
Yeah. Oh, it's like me and the ending of Lost. If I don't watch it, I know it doesn't happen.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but you should really watch it. It's a very well made horror movie and a very well made movie. That really feels like it could have been made in the 70s. Because it crosses the line from horror movie to actual movie.
Oh. Yeah.
I
someday.
think you should see it. Yeah,
I'll see it someday.
Someday.
Yeah.
I have one more, but I want to save that for the end. I think that's like the quintessential modern horror movie classic.
Okay. Another one that oh yeah, that's a recent one. Split.
Yeah. It's really good.
Yeah, it's a good movie, but it has some really bad parts. It's like most of the movies up here, and then like a few parts that like way down here.
Yeah, I think that's Shyamalan's kind of thing. Some of his like direction can feel a bit awkward towards some of the characters, but that's kind of like a stylistic choice almost, because it feels a little more hokey in Split, but you can definitely recognize like the wooden characters that like spout exposition. They have the same thing in Unbreakable and especially in what's it called, The Village and The Happening.
Mm-hmm.
Those are very similar when it comes to acting. Everyone like just standing there saying, "This is why this character is sad, and we have to go to this place now." And that it works sometimes, and it really doesn't work other times. But I think it works in Split.
And I think also the Split suffers from, and I put this all on the direction and none on the acting, on the actors, but it suffers from sporadic, extreme overacting. Like to a funny when it's just it doesn't fit at all. Just some scenes like overact like you have never overact before, and then it goes back to a good movie. It's like weird.
Yeah, it is really weird, but it definitely fits in a Shyamalan movie, or you can like recognize. Oh, so this is M. Night Shyamalan. Okay. But a thing I like about that actually works is that the way, like, especially James McAvoy overacts sometimes, it gets like legitimately funny. And I laughed out loud several times when I watched that movie.
Oh yeah, me too.
But because it is this.
Proceed.
Oh, okay. Because it is still like everything is still or a thriller or horror movie. It could switch in like a second. So you're laughing, and then it gets super awkward, and you get kind of like, whoa, sorry, I didn't mean to laugh, kind of like that. and I like that aspect.
And those points actually drew me out of the movie. When I started laughing, I forgot. I realized it was a movie because it wasn't believable anymore. Those parts, and I wasn't immersed anymore.
Yeah, I could see that. I managed to pull through and actually stay immersed, but I can see where that is a problem for some people. For most people, really. That movie and a lot of other Shyamalan movies gets really awkward at times because of those things. I just want to say, I don't know, you can't see the chat, right?
No. Well, maybe.
Martin is in the stream, just so you, or in the chat. So, hello, Martin. If you want to jump in, Martin, the link is in the thing. If you want to join us, or if you just want to be in the chat, that's fine. Anyway,
be the chat.
Yeah, just stay there, okay? Stay there. No. But yeah, Split is really good. But I think it works more like a performance piece for James McAvoy more than a horror movie. I mean, it still is a horror movie, but what really works is his acting. Even the parts where he kind of overdoes it.
I mean, he is the movie. Without him, it wouldn't be a movie.
No. The other ones are kind of like one note throughout the entire thing.
It's like the another one of those tropes. It's the lamp. It's usually called the sexy lamp. It's a thing of badly written female characters. You can change them out as a sexy lamp. And I would say
okay. Oh yeah. I've heard that one. Yeah.
I would say that the girls in that movie, if you could change those three out for lamps, totally.
Yeah. Well, at least the two friends. I think you kind of need that the main character.
Yeah, but I mean, she didn't really act. She screamed a little and ran around a little. She didn't do much.
No,
she was mostly a reason for McAvoy to show off.
yeah. But out of those three characters, though, she was definitely the best one. I would.
Oh yeah. Like the other two was cardboard.
It was about her. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was really weird. Fun fact though, if you didn't know that, the actress who plays the main girl there, it's actually the same. She plays the oldest daughter in The Witch. So, but she's a lot better in The Witch. I promise. So don't.
Also, I'm not blaming the actors. I'm blaming the direction at all points. And sometimes the writing, but mostly the direction.
Yeah, well, Shyamalan both wrote and directed it, so...
Yeah, I mean, the writing wasn't always bad, but the direction was often bad. Yeah. I mean, like, the lines on paper that the girl said wasn't bad, really. It was just, like, directed weird.
Yeah, exactly.
How they should perform the lines.
Yeah. Just a quick... unrelated, well, sort of related. Are you excited for the M. Night Shyamalan expanded universe?
A little. He shows the right movie to do expanded universe about.
Oh yeah. Well, it's a comic book movie, so.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be as interested if it was like expanded universe of The Village.
No. It had to be. That one.
I mean, a little. I'm not counting the days, but I'll probably see it. I mean, yeah.
Oh no, I'm not expecting it to be as good as the first one.
No.
But I will go and see it because it's not often that you get a sequel to a thriller or a horror movie like that.
Mm-hmm.
Martin. We've had this discussion before. He thinks that The Village is so underrated. What is your thought on The Village?
I didn't like it.
Me neither.
I mean, okay, it was fine, but it's
not bad, but it's not really.
But it harkens back to my thing about psychological thrillers that I'm promised a monster and I'm not getting a monster.
Oh, okay.
It's more about that than anything else.
And I really like that aspect because I like psychological horror movies. Yeah. But the problem with that one, I when I watch movies, more like in the past, but still today, to a certain degree, I get really, if the movie is good, I get really sucked into it. I get really immersed. So I have a really bad, I have a real problem with like spotting like twists or like figuring out who the murderer is because I'm so like ensconced in the plot. But when I watched The Village in the theater with my mom, out the twist halfway through the movie, and that totally ruined it for me because it was like, okay, I get it. Can we get to it now? Can we hurry along?
Yeah, I got the same thing like as you. I never figure out twists. I never even thinking about twists. Even movies.
You don't even think about it.
No. Even movies that people tell me it's a twist, I'm never thinking about. I'm gonna find it out. I'm never. It's not even on my mind really.
No.
Even, like you go see a Shyamalan movie, you know it's gonna be a twist, but I still never really think about the twist.
No, exactly, because you want that moment when it actually happens. Because even if the movie is bad, his twists are still pretty good for the most part.
Well, except
I
Devil.
actually, I kind of like Devil. It's a bit of a, I know it's a bit of a cop out. That is one that really like
bit of a cop out. It's like the
it
worst.
Kind of breaks the rule there, but
it's like
a
twist is the point of a twist is that you're supposed to be able to figure it out. In Devil, it's impossible. You can't. There are no clues at all. It's just like, by the way, pop up. It's so stupid. I hate that movie. I hate it so much.
I know. I shouldn't like it as much as I do, but I do.
That's the movie. Devil is the movie where I gave up on him. It wasn't Avatar: Last Airbender. It wasn't Lady in the Water. It was Devil. Devil. That's when I gave up.
Well, I just have to say though, I don't know. It's not really in his defense or in the movie's defense, but it wasn't Shyamalan that directed it.
I don't care.
No, I suppose
his name was everywhere.
It was supposed to be his like horror anthology, The Night Chronicles. But it tanked, and we only got one. So
thank God.
But did you talking about sort of good modern horror movies? Did you see The Visit, which he did, his found footage movie?
No, because I've given up on him. I've given up on him, so I didn't see it. It was just I knew it existed, and by like sheer what's the word? In protest, I didn't see that movie, and then everyone was everyone told me it was really good, and I was like, no, I don't believe you.
You intentionally ignored it.
Yeah, exactly.
I would say now though that maybe you have softened up a little bit after Split. You should go back and watch it. It's not as good as Split, but it is an interesting take on the mockumentary or found footage kind of movie.
I do know the twist though, because because like as I said, in protest, I'm going to look up the twist, so I'm never going to see this shit movie.
Well, then it's not going to be as good. Then maybe you could, because a big part of that movie is the twist, because there's a lot of red herrings before they actually reveal the twist. Okay, maybe something. We're gonna talk. We've been talking about modern horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
We have to talk about the greatest modern horror movie ever made.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know which one it is? Can you guess?
I got ideas, but I'm not sure. Because I'm not sure what you mean, like greatest modern horror movie.
Okay. The Blair Witch Project.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's not the greatest, I wouldn't say, but it's at least top 3.
I would argue it is a horror movie because first of all it created a whole new genre. For good or bad, it created the found footage genre. And to this day,
well, that's debatable though.
Oh, I know. Okay, we have well, technically, we have Cannibal Holocaust, but that's not a complete found footage. And then there is the last broadcast.
Yeah, but at least we can say Blair Witch Project popularized the genre and made it a genre. Not created, but made it into a genre.
And I would say it did it better than the last broadcast.
Oh, totally.
Because the last broadcast, the last broadcast, well, it's sort of a mockumentary, and towards the end, without spoiling anything, it breaks the the style, and it becomes like a proper movie, but only for like 3 minutes, and the movie ends.
Yeah,
It's kind of shit.
It's a weird ending, and it's like, and also it makes it not entire found footage. It's also making it like kind of a documentary. Don't they like interview people throughout the movie?
Yeah, definitely. It is more like, of a mockumentary than a found footage movie.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird. It tried to do so many things with no budget at all.
Yeah, and that's why I would argue that Blair Witch Project was the first proper found footage movie, because it is found footage all the way through, and it does it so well. Not only in the movie, but all the marketing around the movie. It was probably one of the first movies. I'm not sure about this, but it was probably one of the first movies that used viral marketing the way we use it today.
Well, at least did it successfully.
Oh yeah, exactly. Because you had they even made a documentary about the Blair Witch that, like, I think it aired on like the History Channel and stuff, and they had it on their website. This have you seen it? The Curse of the Blair Witch.
Oh, I've seen clips of it, but I've never seen the entire thing.
It's a really good documentary, or mockumentary. It feels like a real documentary, but it is about a fake witch. And all this thing, like they put up like flyers for the missing teenagers.
Didn't do it on like the milk carton thing also, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they really pushed for the reality angle. Just saying here in the chat that the documentary, the Curse of the Blair Witch, actually aired on Channel 3 here in Sweden around the premiere of the movie. So they actually like sold it as a real thing. And that's what that is really fascinating. I remember the first time I heard about it, everyone said it was real in school. It was before we had met, but everyone's like saying, "Oh, there's this documentary about like 3 kids that disappear in the woods. They get like attacked by a witch," and I hadn't even seen it, and it made me scared of going into the woods. You know, like where we used to shoot all our short films when we were kids. That movie before I had even seen it.
Well, I remember I saw it the first time on Halloween. When I was home alone, and it went on TV. It was on TV on Halloween, and I've heard so much about it before. And when I went into the movie, I was 100% certain this was real. Everything was happening for real, because that's what everything was telling.
I don't even remember. I know I at some point found out that it was a movie, but I mean, for a long time it was like, they really showed like kids being killed in that movie. So, I mean, the whole like I'm not big into world building, but that one does it really well. It utilized world building and lore in a very well made way.
Yeah, I will say though, the reason I'm not putting it as number 1 in this really non-defined scale of good modern horror movies, it's the reason, if you see it in a vacuum, it's not as good. If you
I suppose
if you try to disregard the viral marketing and the nostalgia and all these things and see today for what it is and nothing more, it's fine. It's a good movie, but it's not that great as it was in the context.
I
think you need to see, to really evaluate the movie, you need to try at least as best as you can, see it in a vacuum without hearing what the critics say and the viral marketing and the nostalgia and all these things.
But do you, just quickly then, because I've heard in another video, you know about Red Letter Media, right? Have you seen their like latest show, the review, where they like talk seriously about movies, not jokingly?
No, not seen that.
Okay, but they talk about like a while back. They talked about the Blair Witch Project, and they mentioned this that kids today would not find this movie scary, and I can agree with that because it's not really that scary in today's standards. But
No.
say it's a really a really big what if, but what if you saw the movie back in 1999 without knowing about the backstory and the fake documentaries and all that? Do you think it would have worked back then?
Yeah, it totally would have worked. I think it would work today too, but I'm not gonna say it's the best one, even if you've seen it back then. If you disregard everything around it, I would say it's a 3, which on the one top 3 that like it's a number 3 of the best modern horror movies ever made. So it's still not bad in any way, but it's not a number 1.
No, I understand that.
Yeah,
but do you? Well, I didn't. What was the last thing you said?
Even if you saw it back then in a vacuum, I think it.
Just a quick one, and I know. Do you know what modern horror movies are above Blair Witch, or it's just a?
This was the reason I wasn't sure where we put the line, because like for example, Silence of the Lambs. That's 90s.
So, yeah, it is. It's 91.
So it's
that's true.
Not this is not defined. I can't really say what's number 1 would be. But I mean, Silence of the Lambs is better than. That's better.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. I mean, that's a lot better than the Blair Witch Project.
So I'm just saying there are better.
Yeah, but like a pure horror movie, I would say it is. Yeah, like you said, it's at least in the top 3. At least in the top 3.
Yeah.
When you counter in all the around stuff, then
it's a number 1. If you count in everything around it, yeah, totally.
Yeah, because I remember I saw this like a short documentary made by a guy called Mark Kermode, where he made like a little 15-minute documentary about it around the premiere, where he interviewed. He saw it on the premiere in Cannes, I think, the Cannes Film Festival, and he interviewed one of his movie critic friends, who he filmed her coming out of the theater, and she was like visibly shaking, and she was like, "Can you give me a minute?" She couldn't speak, and I was like, "Yeah, I recognize that. I recognize that." Because that's how I felt.
It's a movie that really it terrifies you to the core. That it does.
Yeah.
It's one of the few movies that actually done that to me, where it's like I'm shaken. I'm gonna have trouble in sleep at night.
You're legitimately scared, terrified even.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And that's one of the few. Like another one, which also is a modern, which I'm quite certain you agree on, is The Others. Also a really great movie.
Yeah, definitely. I talked with I talked with Martin about that last weekend. He's not super into it, but I really like it. Yeah. I really like that one.
Yeah, and that also it's really, that movie is really good with just like stillness and silence, and
it does that quiet, scary, but it does it really well.
And
the fact that
it does it. Oh, proceed.
In the same way that the Woman in Black does it, it feels like a classic ghost story. Yeah. It really it unfolds in the same way as a classic ghost story, but with these modern kinds of scares.
Yeah, and it's
that is also a really good one.
One of the things that's really interesting with that movie is that it's really scary even in the daytime. Well, when the movie is in the daytime, it's still scary, which is not often.
No, exactly. I think that's because they set up that sunlight is dangerous for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
So that like adds to the horror element. Start like fucking with the windows and doors and so yeah, it uses sunlight or daylight as a good scare tactic.
Yeah, really interesting.
That was like high up on the theoretical non-existent list. Other than that, though, I mean, yeah, like we said before, most horror movies these days, though, are pretty terrible.
Yeah.
Other than those we've talked about, I mean, I could bring up like some movies that technically are horror movies, but are like comedies. I mean, you have I don't know if you've seen Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
yeah, and then also
it's a horror movie, but yeah, Cabin in the Woods or like The Final Girls is a good one. Have you seen that one? Okay, yeah, I really like that, but it's not Final Girls.
What did you say? I didn't hear what you say. Final
Girls.
Oh no, I haven't seen that one.
You should really see that one. It's a horror comedy. It kind of pokes fun at slasher movies, but in a very clever way. That one is really good, but it's more of a comedy than an actual horror movie. So
but it's also a real possibility. Well, I would say probability that we say most horror movies not these days are bad. I think it's always been like that. It's just like we're living in it now. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
We people living, the people living in the 80s. There was our age in the 80s. They probably say the same thing. All these bad slasher movies everywhere. It's just all bad horror everywhere. But now, when you look back, you can see only the good ones are still around and remains, and we can
exactly. That's the argument people always say when imagine like watching movies in the 70s. Every movie was a masterpiece. No, we only remember the masterpieces because there are masterpieces. There was like 16 million terrible movies as well, but nobody remembers them. Exactly. And that's the thing, especially with horror movies. I would say that it goes in cycles. There's like a decade of terrible movies, and you have like 10 good ones.
Yeah.
You have it for the 80s, you have it for the 90s, and I guess you will even have it today. But the problem is that there are so many movies nowadays that the shit factor is even higher.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's about it though. When it comes to modern horror movies, I think so. We talked about the good ones. We avoided most of the bad ones. I like that.
Most of them.
There's probably some we didn't mention. But last time we could sit here for like a couple more hours then, and I don't know. I gotta go to work tomorrow, so
yeah. But I guess we'll pick it up next week.
Yes, we'll do that. Because I forgot to talk about the thing we talked about before. But you know what? We'll save that for the next time.
Okay.
Okay, but yeah. Thanks for having this conversation with me, and yeah, like you said, we'll talk next week. So bye.
Bye.